Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a knife that beautifully marries futuristic design with classic aesthetics. The Ketuo knives Yakuza. If you're a knife enthusiast or just appreciate great design, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Right off the bat, the Yakuza catches the eye with its sleek lines reminiscent of a snub-nosed .38 revolver. Designed by Felix Danishwara, this knife is not just a tool, it's a statement piece. The luxurious copper foil carbon fiber inlay on the handle adds a touch of elegance that contrasts perfectly with its bold, modern design. It's not every day you see a knife that looks this good, in my opinion. Now let's talk about numbers. The Yakuza boasts an overall length of 7.68 inches long with a blade length of 3.31 inches. This medium to compact size makes it versatile for a variety of tasks, whether you're out camping or just need a handy everyday carry tool. The Tanto blade is made from premium M390 stainless steel, known for its incredible edge retention and outstanding corrosion resistance. You can choose from 3 finishes, either the bead blast like I have, a satin, or a DLC coated blade. Each one looks fantastic. You do have a decent long row of jimping right here. I would call it very moderate traction. It doesn't provide that much grip, not something that I really care about, but if you're a jimping guy, then you might be a little underwhelmed by the grippiness of this jimping. I do wish they would have went with fine cut jimping. It would have gripped the finger a lot better. You have a compound ground blade here. The straight edge section has a nice deep hollow grind that comes down to around 16 thousandths behind the edge. And then the Tanto portion is a thicker flat grind, but it still comes down to around 18 thousandths behind the edge. Let's see what it can do. Man, one thing I can say about Ketuo is that every single knife that I've gotten has come extremely sharp out of box. This one has a deep hollow grind in the straight edge portion, and I wish y'all could feel how slicey it is. Now, of course, you know, they did send this to me for review, so it could have been hand-picked, or they could have made sure the edge was better. I can't say that for sure, but you know, if you've gotten a Ketuo knife, let us know in the comments how sharp yours came. That's why a lot of times you'll see me buying the first 1 or 2 before I ask to check out a knife. But they came to me at Blade Show, so that's how that started. But man, I wish I would have kind of jumped on the Ketuo train earlier, because man, it's just been such a fun knives to test. Testing these ergos, I knew right away that the way this handle's set up, it is so comfortable. It's a little bit thicker than your average half-inch thickness. I think it's like 0.54, something like that. I'm able to get a lot of force into the wood. Nice and comfortable. Nothing was poking, prodding me. The clip stayed out of the way of my palm. Yeah, so far I was loving it. And even though that flat ground portion is a little thicker, that edge is so crisp and it's got the perfect amount of bite to it that this is a breeze. I mean, I'm doing mainly push cuts on the half-inch sisal rope. And the cool thing about the bellied Tantos, instead of like the straight Americanized Tanto, is that you can do these rocking motion cuts that it makes it so effortless. I don't have to exert that much pressure. I'm not messing with my blister as much, and I can swap up different grips. Or if it's too thick, you can always go by the transition spot and you can still do it on a flat cutting surface. So, you know, I've never been a huge Tanto fan, but this one, and I forgot what other one I tested recently, to where I'm noticing they're a lot more versatile than I thought they were. Now, of course, if you were, you know, skin in game or something like that, the Tanto may not be the best idea, just because if you do have a Japanese Tanto and it's got belly, you're not going to have as much cutting edge. So, you know, there's trade-offs to every grind, but you know, I'm not going to shoo away Tantos from now on. I'm definitely going to give them a second look, and I've enjoyed carrying this one a lot, and man, after the testing, it makes the knife that much more exciting to me, because I really, you know, to me a great knife is one that performs great, and it's a bonus if it looks good. It's got to perform great, and it's got to be comfortable while doing so for me, and it does both of those beautifully well. So you can use that transition to do those drag cuts. The tip on this one is more of like a piercer, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain on that one, but everything else, it did great. Now, doing these type of cuts on this dense cardboard, the thickness, you will feel it a little bit, but like you saw just now, I was able to do it. And here I'm using those rocking motion cuts that I'm talking about. Outstanding job. This one was so much fun to test. Can't wait to test the next one. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Now let's talk about the action. The ceramic ball bearing pivot in this knife ensures a smooth and effortless deployment, tied with a nice, well-tuned detent for the reverse flick. And as you can see, it's a nice free dropper. More of a controlled drop, which is what I like to see most. You can also thumb flick it down here if you want, or if you want a little bit more of a positive flip, you can do it right there. I'm not too sure what the little plates are here for. I guess they were using them as thumb deployment, but I find, you know, it's easy to get my thumb on top of that hole if I want a hard flip, or if I want to grab it back there, I can as well. So it's very easy to get to the blade hole, no matter which area you shoot for. Like I said earlier, I wish this was fine cut jimping, because the front flipper is not the easiest, in my opinion. I'm not a real big front flipper fan anyway. For me, the reverse flick is where it's at. In my opinion, that's the best deployment of the group. Now let's get into the materials. Your scales are crafted from grade 5 titanium. You have a very slight contour on the top of the scales. So with those tie scales, you're not only getting a lightweight material, but a very strong material at that. You have a decorative pivot, oversized pivot collar there. T8 construction for your pivot. Unfortunately, they went with T6 for your body screws and the clip screws. I would have much preferred them all to be T8. The addition of this copper foil carbon fiber gives it that luxurious feel while still having that robust, heavy user aesthetics as well. Absolutely seamless construction to that titanium bolster there. I'm closing my eyes. I cannot tell you where that transition starts and stops. You have pretty much a full-length titanium backspacer that has a lot of different facets. You have that ball groove here. You have the raised jimped pattern right there. Chamfers on both sides, and then to finish it off, that ball groove right there. Then there's also an integrated lanyard hole in the backspacer. I definitely think the marriage of materials was done very, very well. Functionality is a key in any knife, and the Yakuza doesn't disappoint. The bolster lock mechanism is secure and reliable, giving you that peace of mind while using the knife. Let's not overlook the 3D milled titanium pocket clip that is reversible. Plus you have a filler tab right there, so you don't have an empty hole right there. I found that the pocket clip functions flawlessly. I have enough ramp to go through the seams of my jeans easily, and you got enough spring to where it's going to hold it tightly while not moving around. And even though it's not a deep carry clip, you can see it sits fairly deep in the pocket. Plus, you have something to grab a hold to when pulling it out. And that lanyard does sit a little bit above the seam, so if you do carry it with a lanyard, it'll stick above the pocket. Now, it does hug this side of the pocket. You don't have any flipper tabs sticking out, so you could stick a phone in there if you would like. And like I said, it holds it in there securely and out of the way. Not only do you have the milling for these covers right here to reduce weight, you also have skeletonization to the titanium liners. Look at that, as much as they possibly could, because this is a pretty wide knife, bringing your weight to 133.5 grams or 4.7 ounces. You know, it is a little bit extra weight, but I find it carries really, really well. And due to the knife being perfectly balanced, it feels a lot more nimble in hand, easier to use, nice and agile, making it feel lighter than it actually is. We talked about that secure bolster lock there, which is about 30 to 40% or so engaged. And when I say this thing is a bank vault, I can't muscle any play up and down, left and right. That's what I like to see. Now for some quick size comparisons. As you can see, it's in between the Ontario Rat Model 1 and 2. Also in between the Spyderco PM2 and Power 3. and just a hair shorter than the Spyderco Smock, and just a hair longer than the Civivi Vision FG. And lastly, it's a hair shorter than the Concept Fenrir, and is just about identical in length to the Benchmade 940. Now let's go over my nitpicks and complaints, and my first one would be I would have preferred a raw stonewash finish. However, that's very minor because they offer other blade finishes like the satin or DLC. Next, I would have much preferred fine cut jimping here. I find it to be much more functional and effective if I'm going to have jimping. Very minor nitpick, maybe some better lock access because it is flush with the show side scale. However, I don't really have an issue to get in there, no problem with me, especially if I'm using that portion of my thumb. So, you know, like I said, very minor, and maybe possibly better blade to handle ratio. You know, it's not something I dwell on all that much anymore unless it's like super bad, but you know, I always like to get the most blade I possibly can, and I don't know how it's sitting in here, but I would have definitely loved to see it almost to the edge right there. Now for my final thoughts. Overall, the Ketuo Knives Yakuza is a stunning blend of modern innovation and timeless design. Whether you're a collector or just someone who appreciates a high quality knife, this one checks all the boxes. It's not just a cutting tool, it's a piece of art, and I'm so happy I decided to take a chance on this one. So what do you think? Is the Yakuza on your wish list? If so, it'll be linked down in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews on the latest and greatest in gear. Until next time, remember, keep those blades sharp, smile more. Peace, peace.